All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave. Let's talk this Vasil Lomachenko Luke Campbell fight. Man, that was a good fight. That was a really, really, really good fight. Campbell definitely overseeded my expectations of him. I knew this was going to be a tougher fight, but not the toughest fight in Lomachenko's career, in my opinion. Obviously, the Salido fight was a tougher fight because it's a fight that he actually lost. But this was, to me, the Lomachenko's toughest opponent. Okay, I didn't think Luke would do better than both Linares and Pedraza. But Luke did it extremely well. There was a lot of back and forth. There was a lot of rounds where Luke was winning early. Then Loma would hurt him and rally in the last minute or so of each round. Um, I think Luke actually won a lot more rounds than what they scored it. I think they scored it like 118, 109, 119. Two judges had it 119 and one something. And one of the judges had it 118 or 109. I believe Luke legit won 4 rounds. And I think maybe you can make an argument that he won five. Okay. I would be fine with people saying Luke won 5 rounds. Like I thought going into the 11th round, I thought the fight was a draw. Like I like around there, like it was like a drawish. Like I thought it was even as far as rounds. I think Lomachenko landed the bigger shots. Okay, because the rounds that Loma won, it was always because he had Luke hurt and he rallied and he was throwing a lot of flurries. I think it was the body shots that really set the difference between the two because Luke was doing everything. He was doing a lot of probing, throwing a lot of jabs, throwing a lot of body shots, timing Loma as he would lunge in and he was timing him with the left hand continuously. Luke did everything right. It's just that when Loma got to his body, he just really couldn't take it. You know, neither one of them received too much punishment in the face. You know, as you can see Loma right here. Luke, on the other hand, yeah, he had a little lump under his eye, but he wasn't too bad. You know, uh, I think Luke took definitely took a bigger shot against Lunaris in that fight. All right, but excellent fight. Uh, I really can't. It's really no complaints there with Luke, man. Luke really did everything he could possibly do to win this fight. You know, he was landing combinations, he was landing the big left hands. He did bother, and I think he rocked Loma a couple of times in the fight, and I think the body shots really bothered Loma. I think Loma actually looked tired at points, okay? And especially in the second half of the fight, it seemed like Loma started fighting in spurts. But I think Luke won 4 or 5, at least 4 or 5 rounds, minimum. You know, I think he definitely won 4 or 5 rounds. And I think even some of the rounds that he lost, he won a good portion of the fight. I do want to watch the fight again immediately because I really enjoyed watching the fight. I like Loma. I like to see Loma get tested. You know, it's not always about the resumes and stuff like that. It's about the styles. It's about experience, and it's about what you're doing to capitalize over your opponent. You know, and I think Luke had a good game plan. I don't think Loma was ever really comfortable in there. You know, I don't think he ever figured Luke out. You know, if they have a rematch, I think even in the rematch, I think Luke would still give Loma some trouble. I think Loma would attack the body more because that's obviously what kept hurting Luke. Okay, but I think Luke was landing more punches than we're normally seeing against Lomachenko. Okay, Lomachenko's an excellent defensive fighter, has great reflexes and everything. That's cool. But Luke was giving him so many different looks that Lomachenko just couldn't completely figure him out and couldn't dominate. Okay, he just couldn't dominate. It was back and forth, and Luke was holding his own, and Luke was fighting a very smart fight when it came to protecting himself. He did take a knee. He did grab, tie up, hold. Even in that one point where he almost tripped up Lomachenko towards the end of the fight. Uh, I think all of that kind of stuff you have to do to survive. You got to know how to survive. All right. When you take a good shot, take the knee. If you take a good shot, if you can tie up and hold your opponent, do what you got to do to survive. And then he will come back and fight again in the following round, and he would be ready to go. You know, and then see not all of the times that Loma would rally against him, especially like the seventh and eighth rounds back to back. It seemed like Luke would still come out fighting fresh and went right back to the game plan. He didn't switch it up. He didn't lose any confidence. He fought like a guy that felt that he could win the fight. He didn't fight scared. A lot of guys mentally, they're defeated before they even get in that fight. And if they're not mentally defeated, they would their whole tune would change after a couple rounds. So excellent fight. I look forward to Lomachenko, unifying again and fighting to become undisputed against the winner of Comey and Lopez. Okay, I hope that happens. Let's address the other fighters' names that come up. Recently, Lomachenko said that he's willing to go down to 130 and fight Tank Davis. Now I heard that, really didn't think anything of it. I heard Bruce Vane, Boxer Channel. Shout out to Bruce, great channel, one of my faves. Uh, I heard him do the video earlier, and you know what? I really want to look too deep into it, because you gotta understand these guys' names are all aligned together. When you mention Lomachenko, who do you bring up? You bring Tank Davis up. You bring Mikey Garcia up. Like, their names are always going to be aligned together. Okay, so when you have a fight like this coming up, and you got a couple of days before the fight, going out there and saying, "Oh, I'll go down to 130 to fight Tank Davis." Yeah, we already know that Tank Davis doesn't want to take the Lomachenko fight. We already know their handlers doesn't want to make that fight. They don't want to make it, right? But Tank has no problem with talking about Lomachenko when he has a fight coming up. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, but when it comes to those two, or Lomachenko, I get more Tank can beat Lomachenko than any other fighter that's around 135. All right, out of all the people that's around the 135 weight division, around lightweight, not above, but maybe like lower or at 135, I hear more fans, at least on my channel, I get more comments saying that Tank could beat Lomachenko. There's a lot of people out there that believe that Tank can actually beat that guy. They want to see the fight because they believe that Tank is better than the guys that Lomachenko has been facing. So even though Tank is not really that much proven here, he doesn't have the greatest resume. They do have one fighter in common, and Tank beat him better than Lomachenko did. And but outside of that, Tank does have like a lot of blown up 126 pounders that he fights. So I understand, the argument about, like, let's get off the Tank Davis thing. It's not going to go away because when you think of Tank Davis, you think of Lomachenko. And if you're not thinking of Lomachenko, you're thinking Tim Farmer because there's some kind of beef there. But outside of those two, when you think of Tank Davis, there's nobody else to really think about. And then when it comes to Lomachenko, you have Mikey Garcia as well, who is another guy that had the opportunity to fight Tank before he moved up. But he moved up. But Mikey will talk about and make videos about, well, it's not really his fault because the media is going to ask these questions. The media is going to bring up Tank. The media is going to bring up Mikey Garcia. But we don't know what Mikey's going to do, And Mikey was a champion. He just did an interview with ES News where he's like, you fighting Linares, like, or you fighting Luke Campbell? Isn't that Linares's leftovers or something like that? He made a video basically saying like, oh, these guys are fighting for my title that I gave up. Well, we didn't want you to go up to 147. We wanted you to stay at 135 and fight Lomachenko. At least rule and run your division before moving up into weight classes. So if Lomachenko wants to mention them and bring them up and call them out, that's cool because those guys have a lot of fans. Tank Davis got a lot of fans. Mikey Garcia has a huge fan base. So if he wants to bring them up, why not? But while you're bringing them up, still do your thing at 135. I don't want him to go down to 130 right now to fight Tank Davis neither. I want him to stay at 135 and become undisputed first. Like, let's get that out of the way. We got a couple guys like a Gennady Golovkin who could have fought to try to become undisputed. He didn't do it. He fought Canelo. Okay. Then we also had Andre Ward, who unfortunately retired. After being Kovalev twice, he didn't fight Adonis Stevenson, and I don't want to get another one of those. I don't want that to happen again. I want one of these guys to have 3 belts. To fight for that one last belt. Look at the heavyweight division. We had Joshua and Wilder never fought each other. Joshua goes on to lose to Andy Ruiz. So I'm like, you know what? Secure this undisputed thing first. And if you want to go down and try to fight Tank Davis, even though they're probably not going to fight you, at least not now, they're going to probably age you out. That's what I believe. I think these guys are just trying to age Lomachenko out. As talented as Lomachenko is, a lot of it has to do with his athleticism, okay, and his youth. But as he gets old, okay, older, he won't be able to do some of the things that he does right now. Okay, he's still going to be defensively gifted, but he's going to even need to rely more on his defense, his movement, his legs. Once those legs start getting older, he won't be able to move as much as he is. Even in this fight, he started to get tired, but that's because he took a lot of body shots from Luke. Maybe didn't have that same exact effect as his body shots did against Luke, but Luke definitely had effective body shots, especially nice combinations to the body. I think that definitely had something to do with Lomachenko slowing down a little bit, okay, and fighting in spurts instead of keeping that aggressive going. You could tell that he was getting tired, because Luke was very active. Volume was very, very high. Even when he lost to Jose Pedraza, when he lost to Linares, volume was still very high. Okay, and all that probing, you don't know which punches are gonna come. And then on top of that, you're fighting another southpaw. So you can't use the same exact angles, and everything's a little different. Usually fighting righties. These are all the stuff that the commentators were saying on ESPN. Okay, so great fight. I look forward to watching it again. Really, really good fight. Definitely Lomachenko's most competitive fight to date. And I look forward to seeing what the other guys do at the lightweight division. But me personally, I think Loma's probably gonna have one more fight before he fights uh Comey or Lopez. Right? I think there's gonna be some time in between, and he's probably going to take one more fight, I believe. Just my opinion, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll check you on the next one. Peace.